So my name is Maria. I'm the president of our caucus. And with me today is Sia, who's one of our youth interns that's been working with us for years. And some of you might remember Sia. She actually did a wonderful job at a debate we had a couple of years ago when she first started with us, but we only seen her on a Zoom screen, right? This is her in the flesh. She did a fabulous job for us, and has continued to contribute to us. And that's kind of our theme for our meeting about
Where's my baby?
Good evening. Can I get your attention?
Sacramento, I've kept that number on my heart. Mayor, the other number I own is 59. That's the number senator I am for the state of California. In all of its time, I'm the 59th woman to serve. And I'm only the second woman ever to serve Sacramento and the first to serve us since we were designated a big city. So I am very proud to try to occupy those spaces. But the thing about this organization, and I think something uniquely about me, is that we are unapologetic about kicking down the door for whoever's behind us. It is really important not to shut that door. And I've had the great benefit of people like Mayor Fargo helping me. And there aren't a lot of them. It's not a long list. There's not a long list of women that came before us that have helped us. Those are the trailblazers. But I have tried very hard to reach back for the Katie Maples and Karina Talamantes and my Banks, and to help Katie Valenzuela and Martha and whoever else we can, Erica, Sumiti, all of the women who are running for these seats, to see what we can do to put more women in places of power, because that's where we need you. We need you in the rooms where the conversations are happening. Now I'm going to shift to the more important reason why I'm here today. We are honoring, I have to just say, I think the most iconic female elected in Sacramento. It is one thing to run for office and be effective in office. It's another thing to be out of office for over a decade and be extremely effective still. I mean, a person that people honestly do not run without first coming and talking to her. And that's good advice, because if you don't, you're gonna miss out on some critical information about how to really serve this region. And I'm so fortunate to get to live in Natomas. Natomas is a community that votes for women. They really do. They always have. I believe they always will. But Sacramento is a tough cookie for women. A really, really tough cookie. And so we've only had one female mayor who served as a full-time mayor. And in fact, she's the reason we have a full-time mayor position. But I will note that as soon as she did the hard work of making it a full-time job, men took it away. And they have controlled it ever since. So should Dr. Cofer win, she will be the first full-time female mayor directly elected after Mayor Fargo put that in place. I often talk to candidates not running anywhere near this piece of land that you're standing on, and I tell them, ask Mayor Fargo to put a lawn sign in her yard. Do you know why? Because people drive by this iconic house to see who she recommends they vote for. I don't care if you're in Meadowview or Citrus Heights. If you're running, you should ask her to put a lawn sign, if she will, in front of her house, because people drive by here just to see what she has to say. Friends, please stand and give a warm round of applause to a hero and an icon in Sacramento, Mayor Heather Fargo.
So we have an award here for you. Besides a lovely t-shirt.
Well, if I had known, I would have worn a better t-shirt.
It's a great t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you.
We have. This is a star. It says trailblazer, Mayor Heather Fargo, building NWPC signature from the National Women's Political Caucus. So now, congratulations, Mayor Fargo.
We wouldn't be here tonight without Heather's work over a decade ago.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Maybe I should have planted some more flowers. Anyway, thank you all for coming here tonight for NWPC. This is an important function, and you guys are welcome too. Come on in if you want. I happen to live in a pretty public place, so I kind of got over being private quite a while ago. Anyway, thank you very much. I did not know you were going to do this. I really appreciate it. It was my honor to serve Sacramento, and it's still my honor to get in there and stir the pot. And it would be really foolish of me to miss this opportunity, since there's so many of you here, to let you know what I'm spending most of my time on in the hopes that you might be able to help me out. Okay, so as a lot of you that are from Natomas know, I started working on Natomas issues a few decades ago. Actually, back in 1980 was when I started. And one of the things we worked on in the mid-'80s, which involved about, I think it was 4 or 5 lawsuits, and we did end up having to settle all of them, but we won the one in South Natomas. And we won it in an hour, for those of you that are attorneys, after 11 pretrial motions that they lost. So we had to get an attorney from San Francisco because we figured all the developers and all the attorneys in Sacramento were either working for or sleeping with developers, and we needed somebody to be independent and who would represent the community. And so we found a great attorney in San Francisco, and she represented us really well. But the fight back then, the first fight, was really over North Natomas and whether or not Natomas should be completely developed or whether or not parts of the farmland and habitat should be preserved. And we ended up settling the lawsuit, which is one of the reasons there are some really good things that are happening in North Natomas. But we're in a position now, and North Natomas got approved. And when I got elected, my decision, I had to make a decision. Am I going to try to? Is that Sumiti, who's about to be a new school board member in Natomas? She'll be introduced in a little bit. But anyway, thank you for joining us. And so we ended up settling in North Natomas, and North Natomas went forward. My decision, once I got elected to represent North Natomas that I had fought against, was to either try to change the plan and make it better, or to try to hold off development as long as possible. And I just decided it was in the best interest of the community to do a better community plan in North Natomas and make sure that North Natomas wasn't treated as shabbily as South Natomas, that they could have parks and they could have trails and they could have traffic signals and they didn't have to beg for them or wait for decades. So it costs a little more to live in North Natomas, but the quality of life is better as well. And people, I think, who live up there are really happy about living up there. Right, Samiti?
Yes.
Okay, so
We have a great representative for so many years. He did a great work, and now it's up to us. We have to take the legacy.
that's right. That's right. So what I'm working on now is, guess what? The developers are back. And so we thought that North Natomas was going to be the end. I mean, it is the city limits, it's the urban services boundary line. It is not designated for development by SACOG. It is not a permitted area under the Natomas Habitat Conservation Plan. But we're now fighting 8,200 acres of new development, which will basically pay the rest of the farmland in Natomas. So we would like your help in opposing that. And if you go to ecosacramento.net, you can sign up for our list. I should have had materials here if I knew I was going to have this great opportunity.
It's all over the internet.
But we are working very hard. We had a community meeting just last week because the reality is there is nobody else spreading the word about what's going on. I mean, any other place in Sacramento, an 8,000-acre project would kind of be news. But for some reason out here, it's just farmland, and therefore it's not newsworthy. Well, we think that the habitat is newsworthy. We think farmland is important, and we think that holding the line on the edge so the center can be stronger is the point. If you believe in infill, if you believe in utilizing the existing infrastructure you have and making walkable communities and making more livable communities, you don't let it sprawl out forever. You hold the line. And SACOG says we have enough land already zoned and permitted to build enough housing for 40 or 50 years, for another 2 generations. We don't need this land for housing. Do not buy into that. So with that, thank you, Angelique. Yes, I'm still at it.
Of course she is. If you want to know more about that project, ECOS is the right place to go to learn more. And that is
for the city of Sacramento until December 10th of this year. And I'm even more honored to have had the support of NWPC for both of my campaigns in 2020 and 2024. You were one of my first big endorsements as a candidate, and it just felt so incredible to have so many women just unapologetically stepping forward against someone who was running against a guy who had been in office for 8 years and said, hey, we're gonna take a chance on this crazy girl who thinks that she can do something more. And I have to thank you so much for everything you did in this last campaign. My opponent ended up winning by only 116 votes. Not that I'm counting, not that we were counting. And really in the end, it was high Republican turnout because a certain up-ballot man who shall not be named was so scared to go against a Democratic woman in November that he spent a bunch of money boosting a Republican opponent so that he would be a shoo-in this November. And so literally there was nothing we could have done. This was the fate when I looked at the numbers, and when Paul Mitchell looked at the numbers, he was like, that was it. And so I believe, though, I've always believed, because I stand on the shoulders of my ancestors, getting all those verses here.
Okay. Yes, I'm gonna be 90 on Friday.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good, not real good. But I want to thank Karen and Heather and Kimberly Smith and who else again? Who came into Sacramento and says we got to re-institute the caucus. The caucus had been kind of quiet and everything. We had an awful time keeping 20 members. I was membership chair, I was treasurer, I was trying, and I just couldn't seem to get enough numbers. I will say one thing that helped us. When Trump walked down those stairs, oh my God, the women ran to us. And I look around this room and I see women that are older, young women, women of color. Oh my God, the women of color are so wonderful. The caucus was designed in the beginning to have a lot of women of color as well. I mean, it was supposed to be all equal. And it's getting better. It's getting better. And thanks to you all, we have a live, working caucus who's supporting women candidates. Katie, Angela, when you were on city council, now a senator, you're my senator.
Yay, lucky me.
And I want to thank you people. I want to thank all the women here and all the men who come to say we've got to elect more women and we've got to get